We've all seen the archetype, the figure who acts aloof, hides his true intentions, and treats dating like a zero-sum game of power. Popular culture often frames this performance as the peak of magnetism. The appeal of this bad boy persona lies in the specific trait that the toxicity mimics, the illusion of complete independence. Under the surface, this rigid persona is an exhausting performance. It requires constant emotional manipulation to maintain the upper hand, revealing a deep, desperate reliance on the very validation it pretends to ignore. This diagram highlights the alternative, a concept called self-possession. This internal architecture of self-worth operates entirely independent of anyone else's approval, making performative games obsolete. True magnetism is the structural integrity of your character, pulling people into your orbit by default. Building this architecture starts at the foundation, the inner core. This requires a person to prioritize their personal purpose over the pursuit of romantic attention. A self-possessed man anchors his identity in tangible goals. Career, physical fitness, and personal missions form the nodes that feed his central core, ensuring his energy flows inward to build his own world. This intense internal focus naturally regulates his availability. When new people enter his life, his world continues on its established trajectory, which transforms his time into a high-value commodity. His commitment to this internal mission makes him emotionally steady, yet he remains difficult for others to map, simply because he feels no obligation to explain his choices or reveal his internal world immediately. When a person focuses on their own growth, their attention becomes an earned reward, rather than a desperate, constantly available baseline. A strong core requires protection. The second pillar, the walls, consists of the uncompromising boundaries and self-respect that insulate a man's inner life. He uses the word no to protect his time and energy. He declines invitations that don't align with his priorities and moves forward without the weight of guilt or the need to please others. If a situation or relationship repeatedly violates his standards, he walks away. This absolute intolerance for disrespect means he is always willing to remove himself from toxic or one-sided dynamics. He is comfortable being misunderstood. He drops the exhausting need to justify his decisions or defend his opinions to those who don't share his values. These boundaries act as a necessary filter. They ensure that his mental energy remains untainted and that his core is never drained by people who do not respect his walls. When a protected core is established, the final pillar emerges, relational courage. This is the outward expression of a man who no longer fears the loss of approval. Because his security is handled internally, the fear of rejection vanishes. He expresses genuine desire and interest openly, navigating attraction without the clinging weight of neediness. He views potential partners as they are, rather than as idealized trophies. By refusing to place anyone on a pedestal, he interacts with others as complete, flawed, and equal human beings. This manifests as active leadership. He suggests the plan, takes the initiative, and creates direction, because he is no longer waiting for external permission to act. Leadership in romance is the effortless confidence of taking action, because you no longer fear the outcome. These pillars support the ultimate trait of the self-possessed man, the absolute absence of the fear of loss. He values connection deeply, but his refusal to cling to it out of scarcity creates a balanced dynamic. He understands that his well-being is not dependent on any single relationship. By accepting that not every connection is meant to be permanent, he allows relationships to share space while both retain structural independence. This self-sustaining structure makes performative strategies unnecessary. The confidence observed is simply the byproduct of a foundation needing no external bracing. True attraction happens when you build a meaningful life you are proud of and finally stop needing others to validate it.